Now, as you join the chatterization, I want you guys to answer me this question that Destiny happened to pose on the show the other day. Okay. What I want to know from you is, was the tea hot or was the tea cold? Was the tea that Tiffany spilled, was it hot, piping, boiling, steaming, burn your mouth tea? Or was it just plain tepid and cool your jets type tea? Let me know in the chatterization. Give me a hot or a cold. Let me know, and we're going to discuss in just 1 second. I like this. California cutie said the tea was cold, but it still scorched Destiny. Baby, let me tell you that Destiny was definitely scorched, okay? And I think she done blocked me on the ground, y'all. I think she done blocked me on the ground. Was it because I was asking why she didn't give us the details about her divorce being on a reality TV show where everybody else is discussing their loves and their marriages? I don't know. Was it because I feel like I said that if you don't tell your story on one of these shows, then somebody else gonna tell it for you? Was it that? I don't really know. But you are correct. The tea might have been cold, okay? But it definitely scorched your girl Destiny. So you're right on the money with that one, California cutie. Let's get into it. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I said. But you know what? We're gonna do the doggone thing anyway. And we still love Destiny. We wish her the best. But this is honestly the same thing. Well, not really the same thing, but you know, she kind of came at Kimmie the way that Tiffany came at her on her first season. So I mean, turnabout is fair play. You know what I'm saying? And to be quite honest with you, she didn't have to give Tiffany no reaction at all. If she wanted to be, you know, a real G about it, she could have just been like, girl, I don't know what you're talking about. Next. Anyway, y'all let me know where y'all watching from in that good chatterization. The block is hot, okay? The block is hot, T-Ness. The block is definitely hot up in that thing. Y'all know I try to be as unproblematic as possible. I try to talk about people in these situations with love and kindness and respect and a dash of shade every now and again. You know, nothing too serious. So it's always a shock to me when someone blocks me because I just be feeling like, I mean, what I do? I ain't even really spreading no salacious tea or nothing like that. I'm commenting on what you did or what you said or what you didn't do or what you should have said. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's look and see who in the house. Okay, Florida's in the his naive, Raleigh, North Carolina, Austin, Texas, San Diego, California, Milwaukee's in the place to be, Lompoc, okay, St. Louis is in the building. I see you. Thank you. That's what I do. Reviews on the shows, okay? And that's it. I try to be as appropriate as possible. I try to be as fun as possible. You know what I'm saying? But you know, everybody can't deal with it, and they don't always see what it is that we're trying to do over here. And that's fine. That's fine. She got to protect her peace. And that's that on that. Okay. Who else we got up in here? Detroit. I see you. ATL. NYC is in the building. Be more up the stairs and be more. Connecticut in the house. Okay. Bronx. Okay. BX. Houston. I see you. Listen, y'all want to get into this thing, this jamboree? Because we on season 3, episode 5, tacos with beef. Okay. Who got the beef? Before we get into it, you guys know what we got to do. We got to rate this episode. That's what we got to do, y'all. We got to rate the episode. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I want to know what you're rating this episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, tacos with a side of beef. I'm going to give it a 9. Yes, Tammy, I'm going to give it a 9 too. Okay. And I'm going to tell you why I'm going to give it a 9. I want to highlight some numerals here. I'm gonna give it a 9 because I thought that it was an interesting show with some conversations that definitely needed to happen. And we got Marcel back to his old misogynistic tricks again. You know what I'm saying? Come on, a strong 8.5. There you go. Come on now. You know, Marcel's back up to his misogynistic tricks. Who else we got? We got conversations about raising Black sons that needed to happen. And I just felt like I liked what we saw in this episode. And it was another episode without Martell. And let me tell you, I don't know if that's a concerted effort or not. I don't know if he had maybe refused to film for some time. I don't know what happened, but this is the second week in a row that we ain't had not hide nor hair of that good Martell Holt. And it's just, I don't want to say it's confusing. It's been kind of a relief. There's no shade to him. I just feel like the energy he brings because of his storylines ain't always the best, okay? Did y'all miss Martell in this episode? Give me a yes or no. I just wanted to know. Give me a yes or no. Did you miss Martell or nah? Because I didn't miss him in this episode, right? I think a lot of people forgot about him. Ooh, whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay. Destiny threw some subtle shade, Marcel's way as well. So it was very interesting. It was very, very interesting. So we're going to get into it. Now, we pick back up down to the Beezer. Okay, now I never heard of this restaurant before, but it's down to the Beezer where Kimmie has to wait for Kiowa and Zabe. And, Maurice then left because he had to go meet with his attorney. Okay. Kimmie's not surprised that Maurice has left because maybe this happens a lot. I don't know. So she has to be his proxy in the conversation with Kiowa and Zabe about Monster. For those of you guys who don't know, Kiowa is Monster's biological mother, who is now with the Zabe, okay? And they don't live in Huntsville, so they had to fly in, and that's why they was late, okay? So Kimmie has to relate how thankful Maurice is for the meeting that they could all have together, even though he can't be there. They talk, and she talks about how they all need to be on one accord when it comes to raising Monster, which I agree with. But Kimmie has to let them know that Tiffany then brought up Monster vaping in the bathroom on the camera, okay? That's why she really had to have that conversation with Kyle. She needed to let them know this girl Tiffany then brought up this vaping thing, so now we got to address it, okay? That's pretty much what was going on with that, I feel like. Kimmie admits she was blindsided because Tiffany brought the information to her and she did not know about it. Kiowa says that she was floored as well. Kimmie says she felt obligated to let them know, okay, that this situation had happened and that it had been revealed, okay? We also know now that Monster apparently has a girlfriend, but Kimmie doesn't feel like it's her place to tell Kiowa that bit of information. She feels like that should come from Maurice. Kiowa wants all them to act as a team when it comes to supporting Monster, and it seems to end on a good note, okay? Destiny and LaTisha go looking for cars. Tisha needs a work truck and a hot girl summer car. Now, we're going to get into that in a bit because Marcel seems to have a problem with the amount of money that LaTisha is spending. But we'll cover that when we get to that therapy session. Destiny reveals that she's no longer married. Tisha looks, or at least acts, surprised, okay? I don't think anybody really is, okay? I think the word had been out on the street that the marriage was not working. And, now we all are treated to the surprise divorce announcement storyline, okay? LaTisha relays that in Houston, the girls will come for your man even if he's married. Now, I don't know about that, but that's what she said because she's recapping the whole situation with Kira. Now, I don't know that Kira was the one who approached Maurice or not Maurice, Marcel, or if Marcel approached Kira. All I know is the interaction did seem a little innocent. Okay, it seemed innocent, but in my mind, it could be the fact that as Destiny so aptly shaded them in her confessional, she says that LaTisha seems a little bit naive to or a little optimistic about Marcel and his whether or not he's faithful, okay? Because then she says she's heard the rumors about him allegedly having some kids on the side. So now Destiny has brought in the rumors as well, okay? Which is a pivotal point in any reality TV show, as we discussed with Potomac, when the characters, the main characters, begin to bring in outside rumors to, that have been circulating about the cast members. So I want y'all to pay attention to that, okay? Now, if she hadn't blocked me before, she probably definitely would block me now. B. Mooney says Kimmie is so effective at communicating. She low-key conducted that meeting way better than Maurice ever could have. Boom. Okay. Boom. Now, Melody calls to invite the girls over to a talk about it taco night. Okay. Destiny asks if Tiffany's going to be there, and Mel says, yeah. Destiny reveals that she has a problem with Melody, and she tells this to Tiffany because she brought Tiffany around to the birthday brunch, and that Tiffany tried to bring some hot tea that turned out to be cold about her ex-husband. Destiny wants really to know if Mel knew that Tiffany was going to try to expose that information at the brunch. LaTisha says that she don't think that Mel would do that. And LaTisha also says that she don't think that she's going to like Tiffany because Destiny also tells her that she brought up the fact that Monster was allegedly vaping in the bathroom. So now Monster vaping in the bathroom is a story in and of itself, okay? And I hate that for him because he's just a child, right? And when I say that, I mean that he is going to make mistakes, but now it is something that's out there about him. And Maurice is correct. He will now have to reckon with this, even as a child, because it has been brought to the show by an adult. Okay. So that's that. They drive off and test drive a car. Okay. Marcel and LaTisha then roll up to Dr. Francis' office because she is surprising Marcel with a visit to the therapist. Now, I would definitely never suggest that you surprise your significant other with a visit to the counseling center because, they got to be on board for that, okay? But he don't leave, but he just lets us know in the confessional that if he had known it was counseling, he definitely wouldn't have gone. And what is it with some of these men on these shows and talking about how they don't believe in counseling and therapy and help? That's a problem that we need to get to the root of, because I think that it says a lot more about, especially Black men in general as a culture. Like, what does it say about us that, there seems to be this heavy resistance to therapy? Because at the end of the day, therapy and counseling are really meant to make you better. So why are we so resistant to that on these shows? I don't understand. Okay. I don't really understand it at all. Anyway, Dr. Francis basically wants LaTisha to describe why she's there, okay? She says that she's mentally drained and she's taking care of everything around the house and she wants some help with balancing things. Dr. Francis asked Marcel to relay back what he heard her say, okay? And then Marcel, what he heard was that she can't deal with the stresses of everyday life. He says she's asking for a stress-free path to greatness and says you're only facing things that other women have already met successfully. He then goes into his life being a constant stress, but he's not going to share that stress with her. And he's decided that and he says that she is the one who decided that she wanted to be Superwoman. So now she must deal with the stress that comes along with being a superhero. This was so laced with misogyny and it was just a gross representation of what he actually thinks about being married to this woman. Okay. I did not like it one bit. And for the most part, I had been liking Marcel because he had been providing some level of comedy, especially his interactions with Miss Wanda. But this right here to me was just it was kind of gross the way he was speaking to her. I didn't like that at all. So then she's trying to relay that she's doing everything on her own. What I think she really means is in the home and with the kids. He says that she is walking around in a house that he's paid for. And he feels like now he's made her life so comfortable to where he's elevated her ability to complain. The therapist is looking like, WTF, are you kidding me right now? And he's like, you're basically telling her that she just needs to be satisfied with the stuff that you're doing for her. Okay. Marcel then basically says that LaTisha is spending all the money. And as such, it is his job to provide. And so that's why he has to work so much. So for every dime she's spending, he's got to go out and bring home the bacon. Okay. And she basically tells him that he has her in a trick bag. Basically, you don't want her to work. Okay. But then you complain about the fact that you are having to work so hard to provide for her needs. So she shouldn't want too much, okay? Because you're doing everything, but then you don't want to give her the leeway to work nor the support to do so either. Dr. Francis wants to know if he is vulnerable. He wants to know this from LaTisha. Because Dr. Francis accurately reads Marcel and basically says that the man can talk himself out of anything, okay? And Marcel tells LaTisha that he can listen to her while he's talking. How are you going to listen to somebody and you talking? You can't accurately hear what somebody else saying if you so busy talking. That's his problem. That's his problem. Okay. And the issue with the spending of the money, LaTisha basically breaks it down for him like this. I'm spending money on me and the kids. So when the kids need something and we got 3 of them, I got to come up out of my bank account for it. But when you spend money, you just spending money on yourself. Selfish. Okay. Dr. Francis says, do you love yourself, Marcel? Do you love yourself well enough to understand the way your wife wants to be loved so you can love her too? Marcel says, yes. What do I need to do? So she says that she wants to spend more time together, like date nights and things. He then, I feel like, is being slightly passive aggressive and just trying to shut her up. Basically pulls out his phone and says, Siri, okay, remind me that I need to take this child out for dinner on Thursday night because she's about to get on my last nerve right now. So please remind me of this. And the therapist is like, no, okay. The therapist says, listen, I do not need Siri to remind me to do something important. And he basically has to ask LaTisha, girl, are you okay with being an appointment? He asking all the right questions. And I feel like Marcel basically sweet talks her just enough to keep her satisfied and then jokes about not having to get therapy anymore for the next 15 years and that he's suddenly cured. So they leave and recap the session. They outside talking and he tells her that that was a gang up and that that what the therapist said and what she says aren't lining up with the facts. and says that he calls her for date night, but she don't ever have time. At that point, she just shuts down and basically walks off, and the conversation ends there. Okay. Let me tell you something. Marcel, you looking almost as bad as Martell at this point. Okay. Almost. Y'all not making good impressions these days. You know what I'm saying? Like, just looking at it from an observer's perspective, it's like, I don't dislike Marcel. I think he's funny, but I also think he's slightly problematic when it comes to how he treats his wife. You know what I'm saying? I was watching this whole thing. It was so good and juicy. I was like, dang, is that really what he thinks? Moving along. Maurice and Kaya would take Monster to the Space and Rocket Center, and because they really want to have a conversation with him about the vaping thing, about his little girlfriend, and about sex and stuff like that, you know, and sexuality and all that good stuff. So Kaya would ask about the vaping incident, and you know, you could tell that Monster don't want to talk about it. It's interesting to see them having this conversation on camera because it was brought up on camera, they got to now address it on camera. So Maurice basically has to have a talk with him about the implications of being a young Black man and what being irresponsible can do for you if you are a Black man and you're growing up in this country, and how people will perceive you based on the actions that you take even as a youngster. So he also recognizes that he's going to have to continue to have this conversation because right now Monster doesn't seem to be really understanding the implications of all this because he's young. So he's not really going to see it yet. But this is very true. He is definitely going to have to keep reiterating this thought to Monster because that is the reality of being a Black man in this country. Fact. Okay. Next thing you know, the conversation pivots to why Monster is so eager to get back to Michigan. And it's really because Maurice wants to let Kyle know that Monster got a little girlfriend that he like. Okay. And so they get into a discussion about the birds and the bees. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And surprisingly, it was not an uncomfortable watch. This type of scene could have been cringy in some situations. Sometimes when the people be having these intense conversations with the kids, it come across a little cringe-like, right? But this conversation felt interestingly natural, and I really appreciated it because I thought they did such a good job having this conversation. And I would love to see more conversations happen like the way they did it, because it was actually pure magic how they did it and how he responded so well to it, how he was open and transparent with them. I was just like, wow, this is such a nice moment. And shout out to everybody at Love and Marriage Huntsville for capturing this and realizing how important that scene was. That's how I felt about it. Okay, over at Tiffany's house, she's prepping for taco night. Louis, her husband, I think that's her husband's name, Louis or whatever, wants to know who's going to be there. She's excited to see the ladies and reveals that Destiny left the other day feeling a little uneasy because Tiffany brought the wet or cold tea. Okay. They go back over how Tiffany met Destiny, and basically he asked her, girl, do you think that was the right time to bring that up? And she says, well, she's just blunt and honest. Okay. But then she wants to know what to do if Destiny is still salty from that conversation. Now, I want you guys to remember this in just a moment, that Tiffany asked her husband what to do if Destiny still feels salty about her bringing up how she initially met Destiny, meaning that she understands why Destiny might be a little bit, annoyed with her, right? Because later she's going to act very innocent, okay? Over to Melody's house. She's prepping the taco bar. She has asked LaTisha to come over a little early so they can catch up on a little girl talk. LaTisha tells her about going to, you know, how she surprised Marcel by going to the counseling session, and she says that it went rather well. And I was thinking, girl, we must have saw two different scenes because it didn't seem like it went that well to me. But anyway, LaTisha wants to know what's up with Tiffany. Melody says she feels like Tiffany was just being genuine. Melody, come on now. Chime down in the chatterization if you felt like Tiffany was being genuine. I just want to know. Chime down in the chatterization and let me know, was Tiffany being genuine or not? Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay. Just give me a yes or no. Okay, exactly. So if we who are watching through the TV screen can feel and sense in our spirits that girl was being messy, then surely you, Mel, should realize that she was being messy too. Okay? Okay. Okay. Anyway. LaTisha also relays that Destiny is wondering if Melody knew that Tiffany was going to bring that information up. Melody is irritated because Destiny didn't come to her first. Now, remember, Melody was also irritated that she did not know that Destiny was getting a divorce as well. So this is irritation on top of irritation already, okay? And she's ready for Destiny to get there so they can have a little ponderosa about exactly what Destiny's issue is. So Tiffany arrives next to talk and, you know, to the talk about it party. LaTisha realizes that she knows Tiffany from the chambers of commerce, okay? LaTisha's word, not mine. And wants to know, who, you know, why is this Tiffany girl stirring up the pot? Kimmie arrives next, but she ain't giving Tiffany too much static. Why, you say? Because she's going to wait for Maurice to address Tiffany himself over the monster vaping issues. Now, hopefully, Maurice can schedule in some time for that confrontation, okay? Because you know his schedule is busy, and the attorney might have an appointment that day. So just make sure, Kimmie, that it's really on his schedule to meet up with this lady Tiffany and her husband to let them know he did not appreciate it because he sure couldn't have time to meet up with Kyle, okay? Let them know. Meanwhile, okay, they all head outside. Destiny's at the door waiting in the hot sun and has to call Melody to let her in. So she already annoyed, okay? She hot and she annoyed, she hangry, and she ain't had no drink yet, okay? As soon as she sits down, Melody reintroduces Destiny to Tiffany as if she ain't met her the week before and was unpleasantly surprised by the cold tea that she had brought to the table, okay? Then it's a moment of awkward silence. The silence is just thick as a knife. You can cut it with a butter knife, okay? Melody then says that Destiny, LaTisha says you got something you need to talk to me about, girl. What is it? Well, Destiny's like, well, let me eat my food first. I just sat down. You kept me waiting outside in the hot sun, and I just sat down, and now you're starting on me already? Melody is like, well, I would have known if Destiny was upset with me. I feel like I would. I mean, if you my girl, so I would definitely know if you was upset. Okay. So Destiny says, I don't want to talk in front of an audience, you know, and she's annoyed that LaTisha has spilled the beans. But Melody, ever the soldier, presses on. Okay. And she keeps asking her about why she was upset at the birthday brunch. Destiny says, well, I was served some tea that was cold. And Tiffany, ever the innocent dove, says, what tea? I don't remember any tea. What tea are you talking about? And suddenly she's innocent and has no clue what happened. I'm like, girl, you just had a whole conversation with your husband about what you should do when you see this girl and she's still upset with you. So why is it now that you acting like you don't remember what happened? Just simply own it and say, girl, listen, my bad. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have done that. You right. I'm wrong. Call it a day. And you know what I'm saying? Be real about it. But to sit there and act so blithely unaware that you was a part of any type of, drama is like, girl, that was cowardly. Okay? It was. Anyway, Melody then asked if Destiny thought that Tiffany intentionally came with some tea. And I'm like, well, duh, of course she did. And Destiny's like, I don't know. So Melody then rather aggressively says, well, ask me, okay? Ask me. Destiny is choking a little bit on her drink because she's in shock and she's choking and she has to tell Melody, pipe it down. I mean, it reminded me of a little bit of Candy telling Nene, you better bring it on down. Okay. She basically, she does. She tells Melody, pipe it down. She said, I just need a second. Okay. Because she's choking on her drink, because she didn't expect Melody to come at her like that. Right. So Melody says, well, that she did not know that was going to happen. And Destiny says, well, I didn't say that, but a hit dog will holler. Okay. When she said that, it was almost a throwaway line. Like you had to be paying attention to realize that she said it. But the fact that she said it indicates to me that at least in the moment, she felt like Melody was implicating herself in that moment. That's what I took from it based on what she said, when she said a hit dog will holler. Okay. The rest of the moment kind of just fizzles out, to be quite honest with you. Tiffany is not owning the fact that she brought some Lipton tea from last year or whatever to the brunch. Destiny is not really admitting that she's really upset with Melody for bringing this girl around. And Melody is really trying to get Destiny to admit how she feels, right? But Destiny's not doing that because she doesn't want to do it in front of a group. But in my mind, if I'm Destiny in that moment, I'm like, I would have said how she felt right then and there because it's being addressed right now. So let's just go ahead and address it. But actually, I'm kind of glad she didn't, because otherwise we're not going to get the epic drama that we're going to get next week. Now, next week, we're going to get some more rumors about Marcel. It looks like Martell is right. It looks like Martell is finally off his hiatus. Okay. Martell done got off his vacation and he back. Okay. Who else we got up in the mix? We got Melody versus Destiny, and that looks like it's about to be real good. And the way that LaTisha was commentating on it makes me think that LaTisha is gonna be there. Maybe she brings them together to have a little ponderosa together, and it looks like a very intense conversation. So I can't wait to see how that plays out. Next week, we also get the return of Miss Wanda, who I have been missing with my heart and soul all season. I'm like, where is Miss Wanda? Why ain't she around? We need Miss Wanda to come in and stir the pot. And it does look like she's trying to tell Melody to take Martell back. And I'm like, wow, why would she do that? Why? Why would she do that? Why? So yeah, next week, this coming week looks like it's gonna be real, real good. Okay. Real, real good. It's about to be on and popping. It's about to be on and popping. I love me some Miss Wanda. Okay. Yes, you got to show your life if you want to show about your life. That's what we want to see. Otherwise, why are you there? That was this week's Love and Marriage Huntsville, y'all. I told y'all I would do it. We did run a little bit late today. I had some errands to run, but as I wanted to keep my word and do the review because I know that next week is going to be real juicy. So I wanted to make sure we got this review in because it's going to really set up everything that we see for next week. With that being said, y'all, I will be back with you guys with some news tomorrow with the Love and hip hop review. Lord, I am hoping for some excitement on tonight's episode. Please let it be Love and Hip Hop Atlanta that we know and not Family Matters. Okay. With that being said, y'all, I'm just gonna let y'all know I love y'all. Tell somebody else you love them too. And we will catch you in the next video.